If you're a more established family, maybe you're both working, dual income, starting to really get going in both of your careers, more money coming in, then this dual income example that we're going to go through with Michelle and Alex Alaska is going to really do a great job of highlighting some areas that you maybe should be looking at when it comes to allocating this growing income resource for you and your family. So if we jump in and we look at Michelle and Alex here, we can see that like a lot of younger people, a big portion of their net worth is in their real estate here, so roughly half. Now, real estate is great. It's great when that goes up in value. It provides more equity, but it's not liquid unless you go to sell it. So part of being able to become wealthy in a really real sense of the word, being able to spend your wealth, is creating assets that are outside that real estate if you want to live in that home, if you don't want to sell, if you don't want to downsize. So as you get going in your career, that's a great opportunity when you have some of that extra income to start saving it towards yourself, towards your kids, towards the goals that you have. So jumping in here and looking at Michelle and Alex, we can see first off that from a banking standpoint, they're probably good to go with their emergency fund, with their checking account. That looks good. Jumping into their taxable investments now, they have accounts set up for the kids here. You can see they're not just having the money sit in the bank for the kids, earning probably nothing. If the money's not going to be used for a number of years, it probably makes sense to not just have that money for the kids sit in the bank for 10, 15 years, whatever it might be. They also have a general joint account here, $120,000, that may or may not be enough because the earlier you want to retire, the more money you probably need in this bucket because your retirement accounts may not be accessible to you as early as you're wanting to have them. So this would be something we would look at. Hey, is this 1 year's worth of income? Is it 2 years worth of income? How far out does this kind of cover right now? And we want to try to build up that bucket, again, depending on how early they want to retire, how much flexibility they want in their situation. Jumping down to the retirement accounts, this is a big thing when it comes to dual incomes. Everybody wants to contribute to their own 401k kind of as a default, but you want to look at the benefit statement. So let's say here for Alex and Michelle, they're both in what I call the matching employment arena. They're working for companies, they're getting a matching amount on their 401ks. We want to make sure that we're utilizing those assets as best as we can. So when it comes to Alex, let's say he's only getting a 3% match, but Michelle is getting a 5% match. We want to make sure that we're really maxing out all of that free income, even if it means putting more money into Michelle's plan to get that free money. Free money, best kind of money. So we want to make sure we're taking advantage of that. The matching arena really goes outside of just the 401k though. Let's say that you're working for a school, really then you're focused on the pension. That's the biggest thing for you. If you own your own business, if you're an entrepreneur, then selling that business at the end of the life when you want to retire, that's probably going to be a big out for you. If you're in this matching arena, this is where most people are. You get the match for your 401k, your employer is helping you here, but you also want to look at that full benefit statement. Are they providing you with disability insurance and you don't have to go out and get that on your own? Are they providing you with some help with life insurance? Are they providing you with health care? You want to really look at that benefit statement. So for Alex and Michelle here, we would be really having those conversations around, are they taking advantage of everything that their employer is giving them and not just splitting it up equally between Alex and Michelle. One person is going to have different kinds of benefits than the other person. We want to maximize those as much as we can. FSAs, HSAs, we don't see any of that listed out here in their plan. That could be something, again, that they could be taking advantage of that they might be missing in that benefit statement. So again, the benefit statement, you really, really want to pay attention to that if that's kind of the arena of employment, so to speak, that you are in. Now, onto the 529 plans. After that, we have a plan for each of the kids here, Robbie and Tanya. So we don't want to be overfunding 529 plans. A lot of times they grow tax-free, they're for education, that's great, but they're also not overly flexible. If you have too much in that, they get a scholarship or you just overfund it. That's an account that is not flexible to just use on anything you want. You can't just pull it out and use it for a car or a house or a wedding without penalties. So you see, that's why Robbie and Tanya both have these different accounts here, 40 and 50 for the 529s, 10 and 15 up here for the joint accounts. So you might have been saying, well, why do they have accounts for the kids in two different places? These accounts are more education-based. These accounts can be used for anything, for the car, for the wedding, for down payment on their first house. So it may make sense to split up the assets depending on what your goals are for how you want to help your children going forward. Okay, now the primary residence, like we said, that represents a big part of their assets overall. It's about $1.5 million worth of assets. Have certain liabilities here, some car loans, your mortgage. So lo and behold, total net worth around $1 million here. So for a dual income situation, again, you want to be focusing on that joint account. Hey, how much do I have in there? Does that meet with what I'm wanting? If you're planning on working till 65, maybe you don't have to build that account up as much. You still want it. You still want that flexibility that that account provides, but maybe it doesn't need to be as large. Again, big thing for work. Am I taking advantage of all of that matching money? Are there benefits that I'm not taking advantage of? HSA, FSA, matching amounts, disability insurance, all those kinds of things. You want to make sure you're taking advantage of everything that the company is willing to be giving you. So that dual income situation is really important there. When you are saving what you should be saving, that also helps control your expenses. Lower your expenses are, the easier it is to retire. There's less that you have to replace. There's more that's going into saving to be able to draw from down the road. Jumping over to the advanced planning situation here, if again, for this situation for Alex and Michelle, we're looking at, hey, one-on-one situation, what are some other things they should be looking at? First two buttons here, increasing their savings every single year. You should be looking at how much did I make last year? How much am I making this year? Can I save more? If you don't save more, obviously you're going to have less money down the road, number one. But number two, you're getting accustomed to living on more. Your lifestyle expenses are going up. There's more that you're going to have to replace now down the road. Every single year, you should probably get a little bit of a raise, 4%, 5%, whatever it might be. You should be looking at this every single year. Hey, I got more money. What did I do with it? Next thing here, college funding. If they do the right things, if they are saving money, now they're going to have more flexibility to pay for more of that. And then lastly, early retirement. If that's one of their goals, again, the more that you're able to save, the more you're putting away. You still can have money for today. You still can go on vacations today. When you get a raise, you don't have to save all of it, but you should be intentional about it. I should be saving a material amount of every new raise that comes in the door. So if I turn on all of these things in a one-on-one situation again, now you can dive deeper into the planning. Okay, the expenses are changing with college, with retiring earlier. How does that affect my cash flow? How much secure income do I have in the ways of pensions, in the way of Social Security? Some people have, annuity income, things of that nature. Taxes, how is that all coming together? So a lot of different things to be looking at. But if you have really started to hit your stride, maybe you're in your 40s, you have a family, this is where you need to be taking advantage of it. You have 10, 15, 20 years down the road to make a really, really big impact for yourself. Don't let that go to waste. Make sure you're intentional about it, saving more, taking advantage of those company benefits that come out to you. I know the statement packages can be a lot. It can be 5, 10, 15, 20 pages sometimes, but that is all the extra benefit. If you're not going through it, if you're not taking advantage of everything the company is giving you, then you're leaving opportunity on the table. So thanks for joining me today, and more Plan Shares to come.